goes wrong and it burns inside, I stand my ground, won't let it slide. If you doubt my point, you'll hurt my pride. I'll argue forever, no need to hide. When it all goes wrong and it burns inside, I stand my ground, won't let it slide. If you doubt my point, you'll hurt my pride. I'll argue forever, no need to hide. I'm a libertarian. I fight for the rights of every man. I am a libertarian. And fight 'cause I'm right, fight 'cause I'm right. When I know what's wrong and I know what's right, I'll debate all day and I'll win the fight. 'Cause deep in my mind I got clarity. Being right's the only thing that matters to me. I am a libertarian. I fight for the rights of every man. I am a libertarian. And fight 'cause I'm right, fight 'cause I'm right. I know what's wrong and I know what's right. I'll debate all day and I'll win the fight. 'Cause deep in my mind I got clarity. Being right's the only thing that matters to me. I am a libertarian. I fight for the rights of every man. I am a libertarian. And fight 'cause I'm right, fight 'cause I'm right. I am a libertarian. I fight for the rights of every man. I am a libertarian. And fight 'cause I'm right, fight 'cause I'm right. I am a libertarian.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a fun looking crew. How is everybody?
What's going on, Free?
That was not enthusiastic.
When Shadow the Hedgehog talked to the Sonic characters, he said you're a colorful bunch. I would have preferred that intro.
Yeah. I don't think you're allowed to say stuff about color on YouTube, but it's possible.
You are if you're white. Then you just have to apologize profusely.
That makes more sense. Well, welcome everybody, and this is You Aren't a Real Libertarian. It is. I'm pleased to announce that this is the #1 libertarian game show at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fridays on my X feed. So thank you for making it that. We were very excited when we found that out, and please share this out to everybody. We like to have fun. We like to get the message out. It's more fun with more people. And I see you all filtering in. Oh, here's Rick. Hey, Rick. And Terry says hello. Terry's right here.
Hi, Terry.
Say hi in the comments in the chat if you can. And so please follow Terry, our producer. She's Bats T76. I like to point out our buddy Waz got subscriptions. Please subscribe to Waz. And well, I'm going to pull this off for a second. Let a few more people filter in here. So Ryan and Casey are returning. Jeremiah, you're our new contestant. Why don't you say hi and introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, and introduce yourself to everybody.
That was really well done.
Yeah, right. I'm an anarchist asshole. I make content about corruption and various other things. I've sort of been muckraking this sort of thing for over a decade, trying to find actual libertarianism in amongst a sea of like statist sellouts and posers. So yeah, I'm the resident schizo mentally ill furry, and at your service to make this a little bit more unhinged.
That's what you're here for. Thanks for joining us. Ryan, why don't you say hello?
What's up? Longtime watcher, couple of time presenter, I guess you could say.
Contestant?
Contestant, yeah. Well, sometimes I think I'm just Casey's punching bag. I don't know if I actually play.
Big facts.
See? I reside in the best city in the great state of Texas. I am in El Paso. We are far west Texas. We are the only city in Texas on Mountain Standard Time. So we are at 6:10 here, and I'm really excited to get this game show going. You know, there's probably only about 19 other places I'd rather be on a Friday night. So this ranks right up there for you, and I'm excited to get started.
I'll take top 19. Or I guess that would make me top 20, but that's okay. And Casey, tell us how many places you'd rather be right now.
I would rather be here because I'm going to be making fun of Ryan all night. So I think we're off to a great start. And he's on the same time zone as I am. So now I'm going to just start sending him messages late at night because I know exactly what time it is where he's at. I thought he was with you guys. No, I'm Casey Rasmussen, co-host of Truth Will Set You Free and America's Conspiracy Compass. Gonna be here to have some fun talking about being a real libertarian.
Yeah, I thought Ryan was on like European time because he always seems really pale and sleepy, and his answers really aren't very good. So, yeah. Oh, Cash is here. Welcome, Cash.
Well, to be fair, Free, I think my picture is actually in your opening segment.
I think it's Joe. I think that's Joe Hanus. I think that's Joseph, actually, if you're keeping score at home.
Yeah. No, the picture.
Andy's here. What's up, everyone? I got you in one ear because I'm listening to Trump in California. He's on fire. Is he literally on fire? Is like everything in California on fire? Because I might cancel the show if he's actually on fire.
That would be
well, if Trump is on fire, he wouldn't be the last Republican this year who sets himself on fire. It's probably the tanning oil.
Yeah, the spray tan, maybe it's flammable. That could be.
Yeah,
I think Gavin Newsom uses the tanning spray too, so that would be, I think it would be battle tested with him. So,
and they both
Chris is here. Welcome, Chris.
Chris, big wins in the chat for you this week. Congratulations, my man.
Scientific is here. Plus 50 to Jeremiah for having a full wizard's beard, and 50 points to you, Scientific, for finding the wizard's emoji. That's pretty clever too. Well done.
It was
Jim Bob
predicted
plus
by his
1,000 to
keyboard.
Cash for taking points away from the government. I didn't do that. I guess I should have done that in order. Minus 1,000 from Free because I kind of feel like I get 1,000 because there's a from in there and a because in there. I don't really know how that works out. I'm not an English teacher. Good to have Jim Bob here. He's fun in the comments. We got some good people in the comments. So this is going to be a feisty one, especially if Trump is on fire somewhere. I feel like that'll add to the comedy factor. So Terry will be in the chat. So if we miss anything, she's checking it all out, making sure that everybody gets seen. And I think you get the sense for how this works. You can give or take away points for pretty much any reason is really the way it works. And so thank you, Terry. And let me put this back on here. So here's the rules. So I'm not the host. I am not myself. I am the government. Okay. So since I am the government, whatever I say goes. All of our scoring errors count. Life isn't fair. The government doesn't care. Whine all you want, you sissy snowflakes. We don't care. And similar to the government, at the end, the contestants will have to fill out 5 different forms, which they'll have to tell us who won and if they owe us money or if they're going to jail. So, and everybody starts off with negative 50 points because the government gets paid first. You work for me. We got minus 1,000 to me for being a grammar Nazi. I'll take that.
Is that an
1,000 to Casey for shouting out America's Conspiracy Compass. So does Cash know that you're not supposed to spell Casey wrong in the chat, that's one of our rules, or does he still just not know how to spell your oddly spelled name, Casey?
Cash is still learning.
Okay.
He's a slow learner.
That's
Casey is ungovernable.
Jim Bob says if Jeremiah can produce a sword in less than 30 seconds, he gets 500 points.
Here's a knife.
We'll give you 5 points for the knife.
Yeah.
Negative 5 points.
All right. So let's get it going here. So if anybody ever wins, which will probably never happen, they will get the Ron Paul trophy. The unique thing about the Ron Paul trophy is it comes with its own trophy, which Ron Paul is holding. So it's kind of a meta trophy, if you will. You get to pick from the prize shelf, which has our Ayn Rand Fountainhead teddy bear, as well as the Mike Johnson Swamp Ass cologne. or you could get the Killdozer Lego set as well. So we have some nice prizes on the prize shelf here. Cash is taking another swing in it. Closer. I think you need about 12 more vowels in there is really how it's spelled. I think they were going for maximum Yahtzee points is really what they were going for when they named you. Is that correct, Casey?
I have no clue. My parents were confused.
Minus 250 to Jeremiah for trying to pass off a knife as a sword. That's fair. I will give you back the 5 points I took from you for that. So please share if you don't mind. The more, the merrier. All right. So lightning round. The rules on lightning round are 1 sentence answers. So there'll be yes or no questions, but we want you to give a reason with a following sentence after the yes or no. The score will be determined by your performance for the entire round, and you will judge each other. So you have 500 points to give or take from your fellow contestants based on their answers. So if you liked them, you can give them points. If you didn't like them, you can take away points. So is the absolutely not, he's not on fire? Well, we'll find out. I have a feeling it'll be in somebody's feed.
I want to know why Gavin Newsom's not there. Anybody know why?
Oh, I think we all know why. I think we all know why he's not there.
All right, so here we go. The first category is property rights. We'll go totem pole style here. Ryan will go first. Can intellectual property be considered legitimate property?
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, I think it can. And I think the unfortunate part about that is just because you think of something doesn't necessarily make it yours. You actually have to put it into action. And so I think once you start to produce whatever it is that you made up in your head, that now creates a product, right, leads to a market, and then we could talk free market capitalism after that. So thinking of something, no. Doing something with it, absolutely.
Will you get a kitchen timer from the government to let you know when that idea expires in your R&D process, or?
You're handing out kitchen timers now?
Well, you're the one that said that there was an imaginary timer on it, which sounds very governmental. So, I mean, I could see that happening. Maybe a $700 kitchen timer.
And by kitchen timer, you mean NSA wiretap?
Yes.
Could
Yes.
be that as
Alexa.
Correct.
Andy gave us an update. Gavin got left on the tarmac before the tour. He thought he was going, and Trump said no. That's. And then Jim Bob says Gavin is in Melania's handbag.
Got it.
Jim Bob minus 250 to Ryan for a run-on sentence. Really nothing about the timing and all that. I kind of felt like he hung himself out to dry there. All right, so that was a bloodbath. Casey, to you.
Yeah.
Do squatters have legitimate claims to unused private property?
No. I think with unused, well, the bigger problem I have with this is because when you say squatters and unused private property, if it is an established building, no. But I will go to a little bit further. If it is vacant lot and no land, like nothing is disturbed, it's just land, and there is nobody using it, sure, why not? Like in the middle of Alaska, that is how you establish your homestead. That is what you do. You go into the woods, establish your land, you work with people around you, you know what is your property rights, and go with it. But in the middle, the problem I have is if there's an established building, somebody owned that at some point and already building on it. So you are taking that from somebody else. I struggle with that one.
Minus 250 to Casey for not stopping at no, or really stopping at all in that case.
No. Shush, Jim.
Plus 100 to everyone because you have no claim to your answers, intellectual property. Yeah, that's fair. All right, Jeremiah, you've seen how it's not done. It's your turn now. Should private property owners have rights to exclude others based on discrimination?
They have the right. Yes, but we should discriminate against everyone who does.
That's actually a pretty good answer. All right. To you, Ryan, should eminent domain laws be abolished?
Absolutely. I could probably think 1 out of 1,000,000 times that eminent domain has actually been useful. That's the exception to the rule. So just get rid of the rule, abolish it.
You came up with one?
Yeah, we can talk about it later, but that'll just slow down the game show.
TK wants to know, does anyone cry more than libertarians? Just asking. And I don't know if that's the answer, but absolutely not might be the answer to that. And
Facts.
do we give 50 points to everybody for wearing a hat? Ryan's not wearing a hat. Is it just 50 points to everyone wearing a hat? Okay, I get it.
Oh, there should be a comma in there. There's a comma.
Terry gets a preemptive pardon for putting up with our shit. There we go.
Big facts.
Let's see. Plus 50 to Casey for using 20 commas in a single sentence. And we're off to a good start here. All right. So next one is to Casey. Should individuals be allowed to privatize public lands?
Yes. Exactly what I was just saying in the previous question. They should be able to take over the land and be able to privatize it. Absolutely.
Kareem, if you can hear me, your devices are not connected, so I cannot add you. You need to connect your mic and your cam before I can add you.
Yeah.
All right. Jeremiah, can property ownership exist without government enforcement?
Yes, but it depends on the type of property, because the heritage of a significant amount of property, as noted by Murray Rothbard, is the state and its naked banditry. So we need to understand the heritage of property in order to properly assess whether or not a specific piece of property can exist absent government.
Drop in Rothbard. I like it. All right. Next category is markets and trade. Ryan, to you, should there be no restrictions on international trade?
No restrictions on international trade. I would agree with that. Absolutely. Let the free market dictate. And I think we need to abolish the Bretton Woods Act that allows us to patrol waterways and give everybody access to not securing their own trade vessels. If we're not going to be the world's police, then we need to make other people secure their own trade routes and let the free market handle it from there.
Jim Bob, negative 100 to anyone that gives the answer, but then says, but. Yeah, that's fair. I think Terry likes it when it's a blanket negative 100. That's good for scorekeeping purposes. And Jeremiah is squatting in the chat. The YouTube chat is now subject to my property claims due to homesteading principle. You're a little redder in here, Jeremiah. A little redder.
Well, yeah, I'm a little bit more communist on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So to you, Casey, should all tariffs be abolished?
Yes. I think tariffs actually cost citizens more money than we realize.
Plus 500 to Ryan for sounding smart.
I'll take it.
Plus 5 to Jeremiah for mentioning Rothbard, and plus 100 to the first one to mention Milton Friedman. All right. Jeremiah, to you. Can a completely unregulated market prevent monopolies?
No, but there has to be an understanding that regulation is not exclusively statist, and there are a significant amount of ways to privately and or in a communal fashion regulate things in a voluntary way, which like most people would agree to.
All right. Ryan, is price gouging morally acceptable?
You know, the phrase price gouging sucks. I don't think it actually accurately reflects what is actually happening within the market. But in this case, yes, because price gouging does help regulate supplies and demands within the free market. Once you start using regulation to control or price control, whether that's water and toilet paper during a crisis or housing or you name it, what you'll end up doing is creating more of a crisis because you're not letting the market regulate itself. And so you're just slapping more regulations and rules on top of each other, trying to solve the problem. get those price restrictions and caps out of the way and let the market handle it.
Minus 100 to Ryan for caring about morals.
Those are the best mushrooms.
I think those are legal, so they're probably not the best ones. Usually the best stuff is illegal.
Facts.
Casey, to you, should businesses have the right to refuse service to anyone for any reason?
Facts. Yes, they should. You don't have to make a cake for somebody if you don't want to.
All right. Jeremiah, to you, should all workplace safety regulations be abolished?
Ooh.
No, because some of them are voluntarily agreed to, and those ones should be kept because anything less than that is a violation of consent.
Ooh, I thought you were going off the reservation there, and then you landed the plane. That was good.
Yeah, well done.
All right. So this is where we enter scores. If you're in the chat, feel free to give or take away points from anybody for really any reason you want to. The bombing of the scoreboard is by no means any indication that you're supposed to destroy their scores. This was an AI error. We meant to add or subtract with the Jets. And so Ryan, to you, 500 points. Would you like to give or take them from your competitors, or do a little of both?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a little bit of both. I got to tell you, I was pretty impressed with some of Jeremiah's answers. Not only is there some depth of knowledge there, there's some historical relevance. He looks like he belongs in a Geico commercial. So 400 to Jeremiah and minus 100 to Casey because I don't like him. And that other remaining 200 there go to me.
You can't give yourself points, and that was 500.
Scientific
says plus 50 for everyone but Casey because he refused some service. So
don't eat canned pineapple.
And all right, so Casey, to you, 500 points to give or take away. Ryan was just sending you love notes. I'm sure that will not affect your assigning points. You'll be completely fair here.
I'm always fair. We'll do positive 250 for Jeremiah. Very solid answers. Negative 250 to Ryan because it's Ryan.
It's fair. So Jeremiah, now you see how that works. You got 500 points to give or take away from your fellow competitors here.
All right. Well, what I'll do is I'll take 250 from Ryan because intellectual property doesn't exist, and if he didn't like his points, he should have copyrighted them. And then I will give him 250 to replace the amount that I took because copying isn't theft.
You want me to use the government to prevent you from taking stuff from me?
If you want, if you truly believe in copyright.
That doesn't seem very anarchist of you.
But hey, I'm not the one doing it.
You just took points from me because I didn't copyright it.
And then I gave them back. I'm a benevolent God.
Minus 100 to Jeremiah for acting like the Fed.
That's fair. That's fair.
To be the Fed on that, he would have had to keep 3% for himself in that transaction, on each of those transactions.
Try 50%.
All right, so let's get the scores up here. And
here, I'll click refresh. I didn't do that recently. There you go.
All right. Well, we're in positive territory here. Kareem did not connect, so he's got negative 50 still. And Kareem, if you can hear us, you did not connect, and that's why you will just be continuously losing points until we see you. And everyone else is in positive territory here. Casey leading away with 850. Jeremiah with 105. If he would have produced the sword, that would have done better for him. And Ryan with 100 in positive territory. Maybe for the first time ever, Ryan. That's pretty good, man.
Question here. Did Mike just quit or did he go bankrupt? I didn't see Mike.
Well, we only have 4 slots here. Mike, I'm keeping score with I got Mike's right here. He's at negative 18,900 right now. So
he's catching up.
I'm keeping that down here. So yeah, thanks for remembering Mike, who Mike has been losing points since he canceled in episode 1. So if you want to know how many points you can lose in missing 9 consecutive episodes, it's 18,900 points as of right now. So yeah, so that's how it works. Jeremiah, how are you feeling so far? Do you like it?
I'm a hedgehog.
It's fair. It's the most jovial of all the hogs, though, isn't that correct?
It could be. Depends on, you gotta get the chili dogs. If you don't have a certain level of chili dogs, you can't go fast enough. Nobody likes a slow hedgehog.
Yeah, everybody's being way too nice out there. All of these answers are not the best answer. That is absolutely correct, Terry.
That is rude, Terry.
All right, so back to it. Round 2, governance and authority. To you, Ryan. Should military defense be privatized?
No, because constitutionally, defense of the nation is something that we should be doing. And so when it comes to Department of Defense, right, we're not the Department of War anymore. No, constitutionally speaking, we should have a Navy. That should be the only branch of service that actively stands and exists, as much as that hurts my feelings to say as an Army guy. Because the more that we federalize our military, the more problems exacerbate, right? So I think we need to right size the Department of Defense, but should not be privatized. That just makes us mercenaries. We're not in that business either, or shouldn't be.
Yeah. So at what point, how much of the military needs to be privatized before you consider it privatized?
50% plus one.
So it's already privatized then.
Yeah.
Over half the government is private contractors.
Private contractors aren't military. They come with different sets of rules under title authority and some other. I mean, I'm a contractor. That doesn't make me military.
No, but over half of all military spending is on private contractors, not on, service people.
You're talking defense contractors for weapons and technology that service members use.
No. You could be talking about dental software that is utilized on the bases. Those are military contractors.
But they are not military.
Still
being a contractor and being military are different, right? So especially when you look at the Geneva Convention and how that's coded on the back of the ID card.
Yeah, I'm with Jim Bob. Negative 500 to Ryan for not pointing out that it already has been. Yep. You double down. Another negative 500 for talking in circles. Scientific says plus 500 to Ryan for defending me with a military, and plus $250,000 to the military industrial complex. Yeah, they need to get theirs.
Yep, they need more money.
All right. So I disagree with Ryan. And Casey, to you. Are police forces inherently coercive?
I back the blue, but I don't like the statement because I want to say yes, and it is only from corruptive power that is above. They are forced to enforce laws that we shouldn't be enforcing today. Like if I'm speeding down the road doing 5 miles an hour over, the police department shouldn't be enforcing that. So they are being coerced because they are held to quotas, or else they lose their job by the end of the month or get written up.
All right, Jeremiah. Should courts operate entirely as private institutions?
No, because courts should be entirely unbeholden to any institution, and private institutions and public institutions are equally corruptible, if not more so on the private end due to profit motive. The Chevron court decision about Texaco says plenty about that, and the fact that corporate capture judges and various other institutions like that can jail people for, pointing out a tribal genocide or something like that, is evidence that privatization is not inherently a superior model.
Dropping some Supreme Court references.
Well
Chris
done.
gave you 200 for sounding like scientific when he's not looking. That's fair.
Oh, Jesus.
Terry says there's a lag in the X comments again. If she doesn't catch your comments in 2 minutes, please repost. Tommy says I'd mention qualified immunity. Hey, Tommy, thanks for joining us. All right. Ryan, to you. Is the social contract a myth?
Yeah, absolutely. When somebody says you signed a social contract, what they're really saying is, I'm going to coerce you into doing something that I want you to do, contrary to what you may think, want, or believe. If there is not an agreement between consenting adults, there is no contract.
All right. And Casey, to you, should political borders be eliminated?
Yes. Yes. I do not like the political game that they are doing, which is teetering on gerrymandering. Yes.
I'm kind of curious, would you have gotten bonus points for belching out your answer there? We are libertarians. And Jeremiah, to you, can private security forces replace public police departments?
I would say that no. I would say that private is a misnomer here again, and that what we should be addressing is definitely non-state, sort of more communitarian approaches, but that private in and of itself is oftentimes heavily corruptible, which is why 130,000 people were in jail, mostly for drug offenses under the Trump administration in private prisons alone. So, no.
Minus 200 to Casey, police the police, unqualified immunity. And I lost 150. What the fuck are political borders? No, it's a thing.
It's
and
how you draw districts. That's a political border.
Gerrymandering, that kind of whole thing. Scientific plus 100 to Ryan and minus 50 for not mentioning you have to be able to understand the contract you're signing. He would have gotten there. He's circular tonight. He's it's 6 o'clock in the morning there. He's still pale and tired, apparently.
Yeah, but understanding the contracts you're signing, that consensual agreements and not being, for instance, drugged rules out Matt Gaetz. So does that really count as liberty?
Matt Gaetz reference. Oh, all right. And all right, back to all right. Ryan, to you, money and finance. Should central banks be abolished?
No. But I think you need to be able to back the currency with something physical and tangible, not this make-believe interest inflation that the Fed uses now. If we're to go back to a gold standard, I would completely support centralized banks for political currency like the US dollar.
Casey, to you, should fiat currency be replaced with gold or cryptocurrency?
Yes. And the reason why I say gold and cryptocurrency is because those are not under control by the government.
Pogue Mahone's here. Welcome. Jeremiah, to you, should all banking regulations be abolished?
No, predictably, because some regulations are voluntarily agreed to, and also because quite a bit of these banking regulations are the only things that we can fall back on during cases of corruption with things like the Federal Reserve branches and various local banks. Banks are oftentimes arms of the state and should not be treated as separate from the state in their present condition as agents of their economic power. Ultimately, abolishing regulations on banks would be like abolishing regulations on Mark Zuckerberg. You can just get away with a bunch of the stuff that you wanted to after you already got where you got based on statism and brute force theft kind of monopolistic practices. Banks are evil oftentimes, and they should not be unhinged to be evil.
Pogue Mahone says central banking is a predicate for fiat, gold only. Scientific says understanding a contract as a requirement makes everything in Congress that everything Congress signs unenforceable. Pogue Mahone says you can always fall back to torts. Jim Bob says negative 250 to Jeremiah for hiding behind a black beard with a black sweater.
Well, you see, this isn't a sweater. It's just a t-shirt, and it's dark blue. So I'm backing the blue. That means that I get negative points for libertarianism.
I thought it was all hair, so I'm just glad it's a t-shirt, to be honest with you.
You know, I actually am just a floating mass in a void. I'm literally a furry in the fact that I'm literally just a piece of fur with a skull up here.
That is the number one criticism I see of you on X, is that you're just hairy. It's really like when people can't argue with you, they just call you hairy. So
yeah, which happens, a lot because most people have no actual argument against what I really say. Like, shout out to Josh Smith. I'll see you in Spokane, I guess.
Oh, snap.
Is there a showdown in Spokane?
Shots fired.
Josh Smith wanted to lie and say that I only brought up Ross Ulbricht after 2024 and after, didn't look up any of the information involved, and tried to pretend that I was doing something wrong when I called him a dipshit after proving that in fact I've been talking about him for years and that some of the information is being suppressed by Twitter because I was banned for a year and a half, and ultimately that suppresses my previous tweets from the searches entirely before the ban, and also because a lot of my other tweets are being suppressed to begin with. So yeah, there's a significant amount of problem with censorship of my account, and he decided to use that as a way to be weird and stupid and petty, and lie about what I actually did say, when even some tweets were available invisible in a search. If he had just done a little bit of research, he would have been able to find that out.
I just like to say I do it every show, so I'm on the board, and free Ian Freeman, free Daniel Hale, Roger Ver, Dexter Taylor, and pardon everybody else. And yeah.
Well, Leonard Peltier is out, by the way. I think Biden did that.
Yes.
Yeah. He's on house arrest now, so it's a commuted sentence. Yeah.
They gave him an ankle monitor?
Yeah, so he's on house arrest.
What a bitch. The government is a bitch.
I've been posting a new one with check marks. I got check marks by Ross. I got check marks by Leonard Peltier and the J6ers. So I've been updating it. I need to put a new one together if you have any suggestions as to who should be on it. And all right.
Well, I mean, if we're going there, let's just add Steven Donziger to that chat, that board. Y'all know Steven Donziger?
The name sounds familiar, but it's not ringing a bell.
So I brought up the Texaco case, Chevron, corrupt judges, etc. He's the lawyer that blew the whistle on that, and he was heavily prosecuted and persecuted by the government for doing that because it's a corporate captured judge, and the state is a pack of thieves. So they have no problem genociding a whole tribe of First Nations people and fucking up their environment. They'll do that in their sleep. So what they did is they had a Chevron, official Chevron judge adjudicate the case and fuck over every one of his civil liberties because they don't care and they're not beholden to the law, and this is legal somehow. We live under a fascist state capitalist oligarchy, and he's one of the victims of this.
Jeremiah dropping mountains here. Like it. And what else do we got here? Pogue Mahone says, I have anger issues on the internet. Oh, Rose is here. Welcome, Rose. Thanks. Yeah, please like and share this if you don't mind. Scientific says Josh is a nice person, a nice guy in person, definitely not on the internet. Got some anger issues on the internet.
Yeah, no shit. And some honesty ones.
And Terry says you can watch it on YouTube. Somebody said they're having problems with the X feed. So it's on YouTube. If you go to search Freedom Uncut, you'll get a few George Michael videos. And then this. Apparently one of his concerts was called Freedom Uncut. Probably should have checked that before I named this. But Minus 250 to Jeremiah for 2 consecutive monologues. That's not fair because I asked him about the last one. So
Hey, the government doesn't care.
Plus, I mean, if you think about it, 2 monologues makes a stereologue. So my like that balances out your comment there.
Would that be a duopoligue?
Yes.
Is your stereo log at like 45 RPM?
More like 450 BPM. I'd be cranking them beats.
He's dropping beats and dropping mountains. Who had this one? I don't know where we're at. Okay, so to you, Ryan, should government minted currency cease to exist?
Yeah, I think it should. If we want to talk about free market capitalism, we should be able to trade bananas for apples if we want to. And so anything that's used in place of some other form of exchange, I don't think we need the government to print, stamp, say that this is the only currency. I think, we can trade shards of Jeremiah's beard if we get real desperate. I don't think we need the government to approve that.
Plus, my beard hairs, they're resilient. They've been known to be found like in distant lands. They don't degrade at all.
I bet you Jeremiah's beard has those tracking strips in it too.
Jeremiah's beard is what Rumpelstiltskin used to spin into gold.
Yeah. You just got to bleach it like Billy Idol.
Plus 100 to Casey for giggling the most.
He does giggle quite a bit. He does.
Yes.
Casey wants to know if we're talking about barter or currency, Ryan.
What's the difference? Right? If you have something that I want and you're willing to take what I have in exchange, does it really matter? Because that's all we're doing with currency.
Currency is government regulated.
Well, currency is a current store of value. I recommend people watch the Hidden Secrets of Money series by Mike Malone on YouTube.
I would say that bartering is something of value for something of value, and a currency is something that represents value but doesn't have any value. Zach wants to know if we have a new Jesus. Well, we'll see. That's also that's also on the prize shelf if we're going to have a new deity by the end of the night.
I can go get my wig. We can add to it.
If you didn't have the wig with you, it doesn't count.
Hey, I mean, if Ryan wants to do drag, that's based and valid.
I was just going to say, take off the
LGBT.
heels. Yeah. He's got to remove the
heels.
heels.
Got to watch the previous episodes when I do my Joe Hanus impression.
I think that's also in the opening too.
It is.
Pogue says money is generally accepted means of indirect exchange.
Right, but the term currency is regulated.
Plus 100 to Ryan. If a dude has an apple, he definitely has a banana.
Was that an innuendo?
No, we're talking about Michelle Obama.
Plus 150 to Casey for the gray beard. Good call. He's a lot younger than me and has a lot more gray, which I appreciate about him.
That's what you do in your circle. You create a lot of gray hairs.
That's true.
You got a private chat, by the way.
Oh, Cream's here. What's up, Cream?
Not much. I apologize. I've been dealing with a thing that knocked me out for a couple of days, but I'm here. So
I don't know why you said a thing and not an illness. Minus points for being a bitch.
What? I don't know what it was. It was a scary beer flu that was worse than the scary beer flu.
It was penitence from the gods of real content for you making AI.
Casey asked for 1 hair of Jeremiah's beard, and he gave him 3. Is there points associated with that, or is 3 the points?
But he's a hedgehog.
Regulated currency just means legal tender laws. So, all right. And let's see.
All
right. So you get what's going on here, Kareem. You're a little late to the party, which actually might be good for scoring purposes, depending on where we're at. Actually, let's check out the scores real quick.
Minus 500 for showing up late. Come on.
What?
You have to type it in the chat with your alias. Is this refreshed?
Yeah, I just hit it as you
All
pulled
right,
it
thank
up.
you. So Ryan is back in negative territory where he belongs with negative 200. Cream negative 50, which is gets you in third place. That's a pretty good deal for showing up late with a bad excuse and no note. And Jeremiah's got 5, which seems like a lot. And Casey's
All right.
got 600. Start the rumors about Casey corrupting the scoreboard now. And
No comment.
oh, Zach got you negative 500 to Cream for showing up late, and now you're in last again. So
I thought we had to divvy up. Don't we divvy up points to each other? Or are we just skipping that part?
well, no, I was just doing the score thing just so.
I don't even think we're done with the next round. I cunted up the score like anyway because I fucking talked about too much corruption. This is the consequence of having like a schizo on the chat.
Yeah, I had the best answers. Free Ross.
Plus 700 to Cream for having the best answers the night so far.
Oh Jesus, really?
I have all the best answers.
Well,
My answers are the best.
I was going to ask Casey.
I'm going to
prize
prize
the
points.
Casey, if you don't want to dissolve political borders,
Cream, did you give yourself negative 50? That seems like a bad strategy, especially after being excited about getting positive points. And he gave himself positive points now. So we're back to even for him trying to rig the score. Seems like if you're going to rig the score, you should do it in a positive manner, not a negative manner, or to just even it out.
I want to be like Larry Fink of BlackRock and manipulate Bitcoin prices and manipulate the score.
All right. So back to it. I don't know whose turn it is again. And what was the last one? Should government, that was Ryan. So to you, Casey, should individuals be able to print their own currency?
Well, they should be able to print. I hate the term currency. Like, yes, they can be able to produce their own means of trade, and it is worth value that they are trading it for. Yes, that should exist.
Okay. Jeremiah, to you, can an entirely private financial system operate effectively?
No, because private is often a misnomer, but yes, in spirit, because if we take the word private out of the equation and just say non-state, that's the only actual efficient way to do it. The state adds inefficiency wherever it goes.
Big facts.
So are you saying that private means whispering?
I'm saying that I'm an anarcho-coalitionist. I work with left anarchists as well, and they might be watching. So I'm going to make sure that they understand that I'm standing with them in their idea that private itself is kind of a misnomer in a lot of libertarian contexts, and that what we should say is non-state or something similar.
Is a coalition similar to like a conga line?
Yes, actually, it's like a rapidly sort of spontaneously ordered unit of people who decide to like structure themselves in a way that is beneficial to everyone. It's very similar to a conga line. If one person gets out of the conga line, it fucks up the whole line. But they all know that, so they stay in the conga line, and everyone has fun.
Pogue is on to me. I keep using the word currency because everybody hates it. So yeah, currency is a fancy word for fiat currency that's enforced by violence, and I will continue to use it for my own amusement. Scientific says plus 100,000 Casey points to Jeremiah, but the exchange rate equals 10 actual points. Jim Bob says negative 300 to Casey for using Dominion scoring, 300 back to Casey for using Dominion scoring.
Math is hard.
Right. And
math is robbing.
I'm robbing.
All right. So this will be more interesting because I don't think Cream's answered a question yet. He's doctoring the points a lot, but did not actually answer. So that'll make this interesting. Ryan, to you, 500 to give or take away from anyone.
Yeah. Jeremiah did a great job. I think I saw he was like minus points. So we're going to go ahead and give him 200 to try to get him back to break even and keep him ahead of me. I also, I'm going to give 300 points to Casey for openly advocating for open borders and free flow for immigration. Because when he stated that political borders should be eliminated, that's exactly what he advocated for. So kudos to you, Casey.
Very
Fake
Misesian.
news.
So Casey, to you, 500 points to give or take away.
I'm going to take away all 500 points from Kareem because he got points for not even answering a question.
What the heck,
That's
man?
fair.
It's mutual aid.
That's fair. Jeremiah, to you, 500 points to give or take away.
I'm going to let's see. I'm gonna give 200 points to 250 points to Ryan for properly understanding that not everybody who gets paid by the military is the military. And I'm going to take 200 points from Casey because the government has decided that his that his property should be seized by eminent domain.
Oh, Jesus.
Kareem, to you, 500 points to give or take away.
I'll give 200 points to. I'll give 250 points to Jeremiah for being pretty based on most issues, except AI, and I'll take 250 points. I keep getting robbed.
Take 250 from who?
I don't know. Casey. Yes.
Assholes.
I believe in direct democracy, so everybody set that up. So
That was my favorite right there so far.
I abstain from voting as I do in the actual political process because voting is a scam.
No, it isn't.
I'm taking 250 to Kareem for making this a team sport. He brought a co-host with him, and
that was my bird.
Negative 100 points for zooming in on Ryan's haircut. Does Ryan lose that or do I lose that? You'd have to be a little bit more specific there. Negative 250 for Ryan for embracing DEI, and plus 250 to Casey for being brutal.
I don't even know what that means.
You're allowing illegals to come in. That's why.
Oh, by the way, Pogue, before we proceed, Mises supported the free flow of people and goods across imaginary government lines. He said border restrictions on things like trade and migration were anti-liberal. So that's what I meant by saying Misesian. It's funny how the Mises caucus is so often anti-Mises and also anti-libertarian by siding with the authoritarians like Trump on that particular issue.
Yeah.
Is that your high school graduation picture in the background?
That's me in an alt universe. I just ended the Fed. I have the Heath Ledger Joker in the background because he burnt all that money, and I thought that was based. Like, if you think about it, when he burnt all that money, he really if you look at the knock-on effects throughout Gotham, he ended the Fed, and as a result, crime dropped. The politicians couldn't get away with it anymore. Everything was better off. If you think about it, we should really just end the current financial system wholesale because it's benefiting all the wrong people and fucking us over.
That's fair. Rose says 200 to Casey for showing up. Rose is very nice. And Andy's minus 169 for his bad English. I think that's that's self-applied penalty right there.
That picture behind Jeremiah, isn't that a portrait from the last time he shaved? And that's how he got these scars.
You know, actually, that's true. One of the reasons I started growing the beard is because I started to get like real bad pizza face. And so like after high school, I was basically like, I'm not gonna shave anymore. I'm not gonna, because I've got too many hormones and too much metabolism. And if I shave, it fucks up the skin. And like I produce too much oil, as you can see from my greasy demeanor. So like, if I shave, it fucks up my face. So I stopped doing it.
Scientific says plus 50 to Jeremiah for having a tack board with nothing on it. It really ties the room together.
Yeah, you should see what that looks like when it does have stuff on it. I'm like that guy, like the guy from Charlie from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
I'm dying. All right. So back to it. Okay, Kareem, we're just not gonna let you answer. We're just gonna have you here and have you lose points the whole time. Is that fair?
What? No, this is not anarchy.
Self ownership. All right, Kareem, we'll give you a shot here. Should individuals own themselves without exception?
Yes, that's actually an easy one. Yeah, absolutely. Now, the only problem is people say you cannot be part of a collective and be an individual. You can. You just have to acknowledge your individual voluntary urge or desire to be part of that or to leave if it doesn't represent your values. That's the only thing I would add. That's why things like Rojava work. That's why things like Chiron work. And that's what I've argued with a lot of right libertarians that had to come to terms with that myself.
Plus 50 to Jeremiah for his fuzzy headphones. And Pogue says individuals do own themselves.
They
All
do.
right. Ryan, to you. Can personal autonomy justify all recreational drug use?
Yes, that's constitutional.
Yeah.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Just because I think it's a bad idea doesn't mean it should be illegal. So absolutely.
Big facts.
I thought it was
Sir.
pursuit of hemp. Did I read that wrong?
Pursuit of hemp.
Synonym.
Right.
Synonymous.
Terrence McKenna.
Casey, is conscription or military draft a form of slavery?
Yes. Because the government shouldn't be able to force you to do something that you don't want to be doing.
Is it slavery though?
Yeah, because you're actually being forced to be doing something you don't want to be doing.
Okay.
Like paying taxes.
Facts.
Jeremiah, so should sex work be completely decriminalized? And I'm not saying just for you, I'm saying in general.
Well, as somebody who has never hired or contracted with anybody in the sex work industry, I also think that it should not only be decriminalized, but everybody who's been jailed for it should be entitled to restitution for the amount of time that they have been forced in a box for doing something that other people consented to. The criminalization of sex work has been a huge boon to the prison industrial complex, and it's also one of the key reasons that sex workers are abused, because they can't have legal recourse if they can't admit to what their profession is in a court of law. It should be protected like everything else, and if it's not, then it's basically the government endorsing and co-signing rape and other forms of sexual assault in the form of not offering the same protections to people in that industry where that will happen.
Heck yeah. And it's a great alternative when your wife's not in the mood. That's going out to one of my coworkers.
Well, in those cases, you just need to embrace Steven Crowder. If you ask him, he doesn't need his wife's permission.
Oh boy.
So can I summarize your answer to prostitution, restitution if you've been in an institution?
Yes.
Okay. Fair. I think this really sums it up. That's really the answer that you were going for there.
Yeah,
There's a lot of F-bombs tonight. What is going on?
Yeah, we got to help the OnlyFans people.
Wow. Plus 100 to Jeremiah for really selling himself with that answer. I see what you did there. I see.
Right.
See what you did there. Let's see here. And Pogue went really deep here. I'm not reading all that, but little shorter, Pogue. It's a game show. But basically the gist of it was he lied.
Well, I'll have to prove my truth by reading from liberalism at some point soon. I will do it in a speed reading fashion though, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be it's like adhering to my religion. So,
or we could go to Amsterdam and do stuff and be like, "Hey, I did this," and that would prove it.
All right, to you, Kareem.
Uh-oh.
Can individuals renounce all government protections if they choose?
Yeah, and they should, because government protections are inefficient. In fact, in my opinion, the best thing to do for real protections would be something akin to what the Black Panthers did, which would be community policing.
Oh, shit.
Get all the boys in, you get a GoFundMe, and you get an art, and even like, this is funny, people with the ANCAP flag as their profile picture, like crazy leftist ideas. Collective ownership doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, what if we put a barracks in each town that wants it so we can fight against, incoming invaders, and then we coordinate with other towns to work on that. People who are able-bodied Minutemen, like the founders taught, and they're like, oh, that's based. So I think that's a good idea. Now, I wouldn't be also opposed to something like threat management in Detroit, and I've talked to this about Jeremiah, if that just existed by itself. But you'd have to be careful, because Robert Nozick did make a good point in Anarchy, Utopia, in the State, that if a private defense agency does do very well, it could emerge as a monopoly non-coercively just because of the service. That being said, I think the community acts as a bulwark to that.
And David says government protection results in pregnancy. It's fair. And Chris says 100 to Jeremiah if he can growl like Chewbacca.
Oh,
Where'd he go? What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I was in the comments. I don't know if he quit on us or.
I thought you removed him from the stage.
I didn't do anything. I was in the comments. I swear to God, I didn't do it.
I thought that was the opposite of the monologue where you gave him the whole screen.
You think I didn't want to hear him growl like Chewbacca? I mean, do you know me at all? I mean, come on now.
Yeah, this is the same guy that muted Chris about 15 times during the game show.
Ronald Reagan just took 100 points to Kareem for reasons.
Yeah, because I got these automatic machine guns.
So Casey,
Wait,
it's
could you
weird.
spell
Like
those again?
when I added the comment, it didn't move the boxes. Maybe this is all whack.
Wait,
I
what?
don't know. You see, it didn't move the boxes. Usually, it moves the boxes when you put a comment up.
Not when there's 4. If the
Oh, really?
screen's even, it will stay that way.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if Jeremiah rage quit on us or what.
Hope not.
Yeah. Well,
Not
I
knowing-
hope you're healthy enough to make it through the rest of this cream. That's all I have to say.
Terry, I would message him just to make sure.
Free 500 points to you. Just like the government, you're in charge and have no idea how this shit works.
Oh, my voice isn't
Not
too
even a little bit
bad.
of a clue. Not even a little bit of a clue. I'm like AOC doing economics over here. All right. So to you, Ryan, should all forms of euthanasia be legal?
Ooh.
You know, the euthanasia, they're so poor and they deserve so much of our voluntary funds. Different euthanasia. Sorry.
Dr.
You know, I think what a consenting adult does in their right mind, whether I agree with it or not, it should be legal as long as it doesn't impede on the rights or harm anybody else. So while I personally disagree with euthanasia or self-assisted suicide, I think it should be legal for consenting adults in the right state of mind to make that decision.
I hit the wrong button there. I didn't mean to put that you were confused.
He's
and he's
confused.
back.
yeah, my browser fucking crashed for some reason. I don't
I'm a head
actually know
dog.
why. Also, I think the camera might be a little bit fucky in this other browser. I'm starting up my previous browser, so we'll see if that works.
Yeah, what
But,
happened to you?
Yeah, well,
As long as it makes it look like I have no idea what I'm doing with hosting this, that's all I really care about.
So I was trying to open my copy of Liberalism so that I could quote from the book, and it's a large book, and apparently that took too much RAM, like from the browser at the point. So it decided to fucking freeze and then eventually crash. I don't know if people got my Chewbacca noise second attempt, but
No. Are you willing to do a third?
oh, how's that?
That was pretty good.
That was good.
I'll give it to you.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
So
if
that's
that
100
qualifies.
points to you.
I'll give him another 100.
And Pogue says self-assisted suicide is just called suicide. And
Give you another 100 points to let my buddy back in your server.
If he like stops retweeting status lies, maybe.
Okay.
Negative 100 to everyone for not properly reporting your Jeremiahs on your tax forms.
Exactly.
I don't have tax forms.
Bush takes 200 more points from Cream for flexing. All right. So where are we at here? That was Ryan. So we are to Casey. Justice and law, Casey. Should
All right.
prisons be abolished?
Ooh, the current prison structure, yes. I don't like it. And so I'm good with getting rid of prisons. We'll come up with a new solution when we need it.
All right.
Let's lock them in a room or a top.
I'm good with that.
Also a prison.
I'm good with Jim Bob's idea if we want to pull that up. That duels on the White House lawn. Let's do it.
Is that where Burr Hamilton was? Where did that go down? Do we even have a White House then? Not even sure.
I have no idea.
All right, so to Cream, can private arbitration replace public courts?
Yes. Actually, not can it. It did, in my opinion, in certain cases. And I think the earliest example I can think of is David Friedman's paper on medieval Iceland, where instead of having like, oh, okay, let's go to court, Edgar Snyder will defend you if you get attacked by a bear and your employer let the bear loose, we won't stop until we get money for you. By the way, there's all these fees. Medieval Iceland to me had a guild system which utilized private arbitration, and they still use private arbitration in today's system for a lot of different things. If you have a problem on eBay, they usually try their own private adjudication system if you didn't get an item sent in. Also, there's ranchers in Shasta County, California that do use private arbitration in that region. I don't know if that's changed since then, but they don't. It's looked at as a social taboo if you use government service of any kind. Also, one example that people might not like, which it's funny because I read an article that Trump wants all his weapons back from, is in Afghanistan. Afghanistan, from what I've seen, I haven't seen any formal courts there. There's no Edgar Snyder. There's no formal law that I'm seeing. Maybe I'm wrong because I'm not an expert on Afghanistan, but really it's just, hey, this guy hit me. This guy caused this problem. This guy stole my goat. This guy stole my fruit or whatever. Okay, village elder, pull him in. Who did what to who? Where did this happen? Give me the details. Here, and they decide. Now, if you want to know how this can work in a more sophisticated fashion, I do recommend Bob Murphy's videos on Law and Order and how private arbitration could work.
Jerry Orbach was really good on that series too. Plus 100 to Casey. We elect our criminals in America. And negative 50 to Casey for not saying that public execution should make a comeback.
Fair enough. Fair.
Plus 100 to Cream for having the best beard. I mean, I'm sure that means you weren't including me in the mix there. And RW says negative 500 to Cream for what? Yeah. And then Jim Bob says, I've started a GoFundMe for Kareem. We will crowdsource a comb. We got you, bro.
I don't need one.
Wow.
My hair just stands like this. I don't know why.
I like
That's
any hair comment that's not about my hair, so I'm a fan. All right. To Jeremiah, should restitution always replace imprisonment?
I think in a true sort of polycentric legal framework, there's positions for both. But what I would say is abolish prisons. They've been proven not to work, and a significant amount of not only money but liberty can be saved if we stop emphasizing the need to lock people up. And just say that if they are so terrible that they can't be in society, that they should be done something else with.
What is going on there? David says plus 200 to Ryan for calling me from his hot tub whenever he drinks. That sounded like that should have been a personal message. All right, next question here to Ryan. Can private law systems effectively prevent violent crime?
No. No law system can prevent violent crime. Violent crime is a personal choice that people make. And I don't care how many laws you write or how many restrictions or fill in the blank. Dumb people will do dumb things. And no.
All right. Casey, to you, is it acceptable for individuals to refuse to participate in legal proceedings?
100%. They don't have to participate in anything that they don't want to, especially if the government is asking them to participate in.
But I do think Doug
Chris says
Stanhope.
Kareem talks longer than Jeremiah.
I'll say this. You don't have to, but I love Doug Stanhope's thing on why you should do jury duty. It's hilarious.
Whose?
Why? So you can go in and just say null everything?
Yes. You can make a difference.
Yes, you can.
Casey and one of my other friends both had jury duty across the country the same day, and I was just texting both of them all day. Nullification. Just stand up in the middle of the room and tell everybody about jury nullification. Just start a seminar in the middle of the waiting room. Here's why jury nullification is important.
It was funny. I got called for jury duty just a few months ago, and I was interviewed by one of the lawyers and the attorney guys, and he was asking me all kinds of questions, and he was questioning do I believe in law and authority? And I said, I believe in the people and making the right decision. And you saw him cringe. He didn't like that answer, but that is what it is.
We lost Jeremiah again, and he's back again.
Oh, and cleaner.
Jeremiah, you seem to be doing like dramatic entrances and exits. Is that like a thing, or
I got my other browser back up. My problem is that I'm a real enough libertarian that I have literally thousands of tabs open, and so whenever I start up my browser, it takes like 6 minutes, and it also started blaring Sonic music, which is the last stuff I was listening to. So I needed to get all that squared away. But now my previous window is up, and I've got my camera working better. So
we caught that. I thought that was the theme to Benny Hill, but
that was Night of the Wind from the Sonic and the Black Knight game.
See, in here, I thought he was playing Minesweeper and Solitaire at the same time. I'm glad you expounded.
The Black Knight, the Sega Saturn flop, though. What the heck, man?
That wasn't on the Sega Saturn. You should really learn more about Sonic.
Or not.
Black Knight.
All right. Pogue says Chaos Theory by Bob Murphy is the leg kick to any minarchist to become an anarchist. And also says 95% of criminal justice should be restitution based. Zach, negative 100 to Jeremiah for putting me to sleep. Was that the music or was that the response? You'd have to be more specific on that. I like Jeremiah's answers. I don't mind people being mean in the chat though, so I could go either way on that. All right, so that was to Casey. So the next one is to Kareem. And Kareem, I'd just like to remind you, for all of us, it's a sentence afterwards, just one sentence. So you have to maybe a bridge.
All right.
So can a community privately enforce contracts without a state? Negative 50 to Jeremiah for taking us through his entire day.
So the first thing I do when I start up my computer is I turn on my Sonic music.
Okay.
Apparently. All right, Kareem, to you.
Yeah, they do it all the time. In fact, if you look around your local community or even you look around your state, you're going to find that people are enforcing unwritten rules and contracts and written contracts all day. And on the internet, to add that, there are things such as smart contracts now that need both parties to fulfill.
Negative 150 to Jeremiah for pushing the Sonic cult.
Yeah, it's like Blue Oyster Cult.
And okay. So this is to Jeremiah now. Oh, nope, that's the end of the round. Everything got all jacked up. So if you're in the chat, feel free to give or take away points at this point. Please share again if you don't mind. I think we're having X problems. Our numbers are a little lower than usual. And this is like the best looking group you're going to find on X tonight. So you might as well share it out there. Ryan, to you, 500 points to give or take away.
Best looking people on X. I've never taken X, so I may have to disagree with you on that statement. So fair. I'm going to go minus 200 to Jeremiah and minus 200 to Kareem for looking like Sonic and Knuckles, and minus 200 for Casey just because I don't like him.
Math is really hard for you, isn't it?
Yeah, you're really jacking up with the math. I do like that you have a pen because it makes it look like you're actually like taking notes and stuff. Like you've been holding a pen, like you're looked like a free pen from the bank or something. All right, Casey, to you, 500 points to give or take away.
We'll take 500 from Ryan because he doesn't know how to do math.
That's fair. I feel like it would have been a little ironic if you would have made it taking 600 from him because his math is bad.
I'm not that dumb. I'm not Mitch McConnell.
Kareem, 500 points to give or take away to you.
I'll give 250 points to Casey because I was mean to him. And I'll give 250 to Ryan.
250 to Ryan?
Yes, sir.
This is on the internet. You got to speak up.
250 to Ryan. Hello.
I got you now. After the clarification, I was good. Jeremiah, to you, 500 to give or take away.
Well, I'd like to start by saying that I've got my graphics stylist because I do real graphics and not AI art. If anyone wants to hire me, they can, but this is my pen, so I now look official as well.
We couldn't see it. It was buried in the mound of hair, apparently.
Yeah,
you have two colors on your screen. It's white and black. But I feel like I'm watching a Charlie Chaplin movie if he had Manson's beard.
But see, everything is black and white. That's why we got to add shades of blue, you know? Anyway, I'm going to give like 100 points distributed evenly to everybody here because we're going to have to redistribute these spoils of state capitalism if we're ever going to smash this structure.
All right, so 100 to everybody there. And we got whoever mentioned smart contracts, plus 250 to them. That was Kareem mentioned smart contracts, so he gets 250. 200 to Jeremiah. All hail Sonic. Great hot dogs. Yep. It's a handy drive-through as well.
Chili dogs, no hot dogs. Loser.
All hail Sonic. What are you, Elon Musk now?
David plus 50 to Ryan for having the most framed pictures in the background. Those are fake diplomas, is what those are. Those aren't.
I thought they just came
real.
with the frame. He went to Hobby Lobby and just bought the frame and put them on his wall.
Yeah, they all say best dad, and he signed them himself.
Live, laugh, love. Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. All right, and negative 100 to Jeremiah for not being able to figure out where his hair ends and his beard begins.
Oh, it's all hair.
Negative 100 to Jeremiah for looking like the Liver King on Ozempic.
See this one I'll argue with because I'm the Liver King if he was honest and didn't take steroids.
What is happening?
I'm dying. Minus 1,000 to Jeremiah for redistribution. Yeah, you haven't watched enough episodes. They don't like redistribution in the comments. Oh, there you go. Jeremiah gets the gulag for mentioning redistribution.
Mm-hmm. But what I will do that might correct my karma is I will briefly read this. Everywhere today, political power is in the hands of the anti-liberal parties. The program of anti-liberalism unleashed the forces that gave rise to Great World War, and by virtue of import and export quotas, tariffs, migration barriers, and similar measures.
Oh, your mic cut out. We got to move on to the next thing. We are on to fill in the meme. And fill in the meme. So if you've seen it before, I'm going to show you a meme. It's going to have a blank in it. You have to tell me what is under the blank. Ryan, to you. So it says here, what my friends think I do, what my parents think I do, what society thinks I do, what libertarians think I do, what I think I do, and what I really do.
Jeremy Kaufman.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Casey, to you. What my friends think I do, what my parents think I do, what society thinks I do, what libertarians think I do, what I think I do, what I really do.
Oh man.
Minus 100 to
Internet
Jeremiah
warrior.
for making Casey jealous by reading.
Oh, fake news. Internet warrior, keyboard warrior.
Okay. Kareem, to you. What do you think's under the blank, Kareem?
What I think is under the blank. Everybody's saying nothing. Nothing. I don't know.
Jeremiah, to you. What do you think's under the blank?
Nambla.
Oh my God.
I thought you guys would get this one. Anarchist.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. The more we blame Democrats or Republicans, the less we remember what, Ryan? The more we blame Democrats or Republicans, the less we remember what?
Putin controls them all.
Yes.
Ooh, very good.
Who
Casey.
sounds like they're on the International Space Station?
Putin.
What?
I'm not getting that.
You're not getting it? Oh, okay. Sorry. This one, we blame more Democrats or Republicans, the less we remember, the happier we will be.
Interesting. Cream, to you. What's under the blank? The more we blame Democrats or Republicans, the less we remember.
APAC.
APAC's a good answer as well. Jeremiah?
To blame them both?
They're both to blame. That is the correct answer. They are both to blame. So 100 to Jeremiah for that one.
I gave a bullshit answer to the first one because I thought it'd be funny to call libertarians pedophiles.
Dear God.
All right. Let's see. Ryan, to you. First day of homeschooling. Everything the state says, blank. Everything it has, blank. So we need two answers here.
Everything the state says sucks, and everything it has, they stole from us.
Ooh, we're close there. I'm going to give you partial credit on that. 50 points to Ryan, partial credit, but we're going to move on. Casey, to you. Everything the state says blank, and everything it has blank.
Stolen on both of them.
All right. Kareem, to you.
Everything the state says it lies, and everything it has stolen.
That is the correct answer.
Oh, lies and stolen. Good call out.
Everything it says is a lie. Everything it has is stolen.
Yes.
All right. So 100 to Kareem for that. And Jeremiah, to you. Liberalism, Donald Trump, the purple overlap area represents what? We got one circle that's libertarianism. We got one circle that's Donald Trump. The purple overlap area represents
Libertarians that support Donald Trump.
Okay. Ryan, to you.
The purple overlap area represents Angela McGriddle.
That's a good answer as well. And Terry's giving you a high five backstage. Casey, to you. The purple overlap area represents what?
MAGA confused people? I don't know on that one.
All right, Kareem, to you. The purple overlap area represents what?
Minarchists.
Nobody got this one. I thought this was an easy one. The purple overlap area represents how much Donald Trump is a libertarian.
Oh,
For those of you that didn't get it, there is no purple overlap area here. So
I should get points. Magruder was close. I was the
that
closest.
was very close.
Yeah.
Because she's not libertarian either. Like this works.
I'll give her LLC 100 points. How about that? Is that fair?
Well, which one? She has 5.
We'll give each 100. Does that get Ross a lifetime membership if I give them all 100?
No, they're just using that for cred.
Yeah. All right. So next is we got a picture of Ron Paul and then Ron Paul blank. Who's first here? Casey?
yeah, I'll go. Damn it.
Ron Paul and then blank.
Because he's putting up a sign very similar to Spirit Halloween over the Federal Reserve because we end the Fed, but that's a lot of empty space for saying end the Fed.
Right. That is
I'm
not
gonna
the
go with
correct
that,
answer. So Cream to you. Ron Paul blank. What is Ron Paul doing here?
Wants you to end the Fed. Just do it.
That wouldn't fit.
All right, Jeremiah, to you. Ron Paul blank.
Babylon B is like notoriously racist, so I'm just gonna say Ron Paul fucking disguises the Fed as a Nike store, so protesters loot it.
I'm giving it to you. It is Ron Paul
Oh,
disguises the
Jesus.
Federal Reserve as a Nike store and hopes rioters burn it down.
Yeah. Wow. And the way you phrased it, bringing up the Babylon Bee, I was like, oh, wait a minute. That makes so much sense. My bad. I missed that one.
Should have blanked out the Babylon Bee. And
You're like, damn, I invited the anti-fascist on. That was a bad idea.
Just satire.
all right, Ryan, to you. So we've got a blank at the top here, and the bottom says refer to rule number 11 of the popular board game Monopoly. So what can we learn from the rule number 11 of the popular board game Monopoly?
Well, the bank never goes bankrupt. So in the board game Monopoly, if the bank runs out of money, you either create more money or you just take it back from the players and then give it back out to the players as the game goes on. But that's too long of an explanation for your 2 blocks. So I will say steals your money and redistributes it.
You were on the right path there, but not correct. Casey, to you.
How the Federal Reserve works.
That is correct. To learn how the Federal Reserve works, refer to number 11, rule number 11 of the popular board game Monopoly.
Well done.
Bank never goes bankrupt. They just print more money, basically.
Big facts.
Okay, so that was you, Casey, right? So 100 to Casey. All right, so Kareem, blank is bad and blank is good on this t-shirt. Blank is bad, and then what is good? Negative 100 to Ryan for saying redistribution. Blank is bad and blank is good. What's bad and what is good?
Bad food, good chick. I don't know. This one actually got me. I'm not sure how this relates to.
Jeremiah, blank is bad and blank is good. They're 2 different things. What is bad and what is good?
This guy kind of looks like a chud type. I'm just gonna say, like, if he's a libertarian at all, he's probably making some weird bumper sticker statement. I'm just gonna say, like, bombs bad, tits good, boobs good, something like that.
I'm giving it to you. War is bad, boobs are good. That is correct.
Okay. He was looking
Ryan,
at a rack.
to
It's
you.
like if you look at somebody's rack and you got that shirt on, I know what it's saying.
I would have also accepted Casey is bad, free is good. That would have worked as well. Ryan, to you. So that was 100 to Jeremiah for the last one. So my friends, me, an innocent conversation topic. What am I sneaking in? My friends, me, an innocent conversation topic. What is in the Trojan horse here?
Man, that's a toss up between vegetarian, CrossFitters, or libertarians. So I'm going to go with libertarian.
That's a good guess. Casey, to you.
Philosophy.
A little too deep for a meme. Kareem, to you.
Oh,
Ending the Fed.
That's a little bit closer to what I would guess. Jeremiah, it's still open for you.
Economics.
No, 0 for 4 here. Me, my friends, an innocent conversation, the Trojan horses, crypto. Crypto.
what?
Scientific says, hey, you should check out my new game show. This is an established game show here, Scientific. So we're number
Not
one
an
in the
idea.
ratings. Number one in the ratings. 473 happy viewers now, except for the one that's yelling at Jeremiah in the chat right now.
Which I'm happy about. I'm about to post a response on Twitter.
Okay. All right. So the next one to Ryan. After being labeled an extremist and what? He's pointing at his hand. After being labeled an extremist and what?
Demanding my income back.
Okay. Casey, to you.
Oh, that wasn't it. That's what I was kind of going with. I'm just going to go with taxation is theft because that's the other meme that I've seen with this one.
Okay. Cream, to you. After
Where am I
being
left?
labeled an extremist and what?
And a terrorist or a threat. Where are my guns and free money?
I'm giving it to you. After being labeled an extremist and the CIA still hasn't given you weapons or funding. Yep.
I was
100
almost-
points to you, Cream.
That meme was ubiquitous after Afghanistan. It's like, oh, the libertarians are terrible. Like, all right, quit, cool, give me.
I was gonna say not being put on a watch list, but that works.
Yeah, that would have been a good answer as well. All right, Jeremiah, to you. Cream gets 100 points there. The blank starter pack. And in the starter pack is the Tuskegee Experiment, Operation Paperclip, MK Ultra, Fast and Furious, Operation Northwoods, and Operation Mockingbird. So what do those 6 make up a starter pack for?
The Trust Your Government starter pack.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It's the government would never do that starter pack. Yep. So
Yes.
100 to you for that. Negative 100 to Cream for being the only one that's not received CIA funding. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
I put
show's
it in
actually
the
being
book.
sponsored by the CIA. All right. So Jeremiah gets that 100 points. To you, Ryan. Babe, what radicalized you? And he's thinking what radicalized him?
Inside that cloud is a picture of Ron Paul.
Okay.
Ooh.
Casey, that's a good answer.
Taxation is theft.
Good answer. Cream.
A picture of Ron Paul.
Okay.
Yep. He already didn't
original.
get that.
Jeremiah, to you.
I don't know, coronavirus molecule.
Well, these
No.
That would have been good. The correct answer is FEMA. FEMA. Jericho had Fauci. That would have been a good answer as well.
The post office.
The post office from Zach. I get 200 for understanding how lighting works. What about the tan? I'm the tannest of all of us too. So I'm not the only one that's blowing out the white balance on your monitor right now.
Yeah, but
right.
libertarians have to be white, so
maybe I'm not a real libertarian.
yeah.
-75 to Cream for reading from a script.
Okay.
All right. To you, Ryan, the government when you cheat on your tax return.
Clearly, I can't accept that.
Okay. Casey, the government when you cheat on your tax return.
Taxation is theft. Gosh, why do I got to do this a third time? Damn it.
Kareem, to you, the government when you cheat on a tax return.
Why are you trying to take money that I rightfully stole?
I'm going to give it to you. It's
Why are you trying to take back what I've rightfully stolen?
you're trying to kidnap whatever rightfully stolen.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You have to have the Princess Bride reference there.
I thought it was the poisoning of the cups. Like I went with the.
I get 50 for using the Alex Jones voice filter. Is that better or worse than when OB said I sounded like Don Johnson that one time? Probably about equal. All right. So Jeremiah, to you, do you have any history of mental illness in your family? And this is the meme, Jeremiah, don't answer this for real. Do you have any history of mental illness in your family? And the response is, I have an uncle who thinks what?
What, the government is good? This is Ron Swanson. I haven't seen that episode.
Ryan, to you.
I'm
Plus
trying to remember
500
that
to Casey
episode.
for saying taxation is theft 3 times.
I'm trying to remember the right answer. That's the frustrating part because I can't remember the episode. So I'm going to go with the make-believe answer. I have an uncle who thinks Trump is libertarian.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
Ryan?
Casey, to you.
Joe Biden running the country.
That's a good answer as well. Cream, to you.
I have an uncle who thinks that Joe Biden was sent by God and Trump is a savior.
That wouldn't fit.
No, that's
What she said.
Mm-hmm.
Scientific's answer is that I have an uncle who thinks Casey makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
You're an ass.
All right, so I have an uncle who thinks gun laws prevent crimes.
Mm.
All right, and so Jeremiah, to you, winters will be a thing of the past by year 2000, and this is Al Gore in 1993, and the response says,
Florida in 2024.
I want to give it to you, but you got the wrong year, and now I'm giving it to you.
What?
Meanwhile,
He also
in the
said
Gulf
the
of
wrong
America.
place. It's Gulf of America. Oh man, I knew this when I woke up that morning, and you were talking. You mentioned Gulf of America, and it was freezing. I was like, oh god.
I said
right.
I wanted to go back to the Gulf of Mexico because that was
Right.
warmer. As somebody that lives by the Gulf of Mexico, I would prefer it to be warmer still.
I picked Florida as well because it's like palm trees. I'm assuming that's where this like actually is.
If we're going to do renaming and restructuring, I like to go back to the Articles of Confederation.
Yeah, let's not rename stuff. Let's do that instead of rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic.
Articles of
Jim
the
Bob
Senate.
says Trump ended global warming in less than a week.
Big facts.
All right. So who got that one? That was Jeremiah. So 100 to Jeremiah. So to you, Ryan, what do I do now? Just do what they taught you in college. And he's thinking what?
File an extension for your student loans.
Mm-hmm. Casey, to you. What do I do now? Just do what they taught you in college. And he's thinking what?
Dye my hair blue.
Okay. Kareem, to you.
It's, see, I don't like, and I'm going to say this, I have a lot of awesome pro-trans anarchist friends, but it's a like pride flag with the little thing in the end. I forget.
It is not. To you, Jeremiah.
It's not D.
I don't know. I want to say it's something I want to say it's something related to pronouns, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
None.
I'm not anti-trans, so I wouldn't do that to you, Kareem, by the way. I would not put you on the spot like that.
It's mostly because it's from Declaration of Memes, and they are, so.
Yeah, so
I've seen that one before.
What do I do now? Just do what they taught you in college, and the answer is communism.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But the wrong kind.
That's the same thing as dyeing your hair blue.
Kind of feel like that's more
Not paying back student loans. Yeah.
That's
Not the same thing.
That's more cosmetology. That's where they sent the pretty girls that were dumb in our high school. So the cosmetology and communism, I think, are different.
I feel like people on the right, it's like, my coffee was cold. It's Karl Marx. I'm like, all right, like, no.
All right. So the next one here is inflation, social security tax, capital gains tax, sales tax, property tax, income tax. Ryan, what are they all chasing?
Single mom.
No.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a great answer.
Too hot.
Casey, to you.
International wars.
Kareem, to you.
My paycheck?
That is correct.
Oh.
Your hard-earned money. 100 to Kareem for that. And then Jeremiah, to you. When you find out that your government spent $3 million and what?
I'm just gonna think that it's related to some bullshit that was circulating. I think it's probably relating to like horny birds or something like that.
Okay. Ryan, to you.
When you find out that your government spent $3 million researching beetles having sex on cocaine.
Oh, you're so dangerously close here.
It was something like that, yeah.
Casey, to you.
Oh, man, that really messed me up now. I was going to say something else, and now...
Let me do this for you, Casey. Taxation is theft.
I'll go with it because I don't have any other ideas. Taxation is theft.
Kareem, to you.
I think it was quails, how much they could fornicate when they were on cocaine.
Those are good answers, but the actual answer here is when you find out your government spent $3 million to watch hamsters fight on steroids and they didn't show us.
Oh, Jesus.
That's awesome.
Hey, though, while we're on this particular image, you all should know that one of the biggest business deals in government history just happened, and it's Trump giving $500 million, I think, to Oracle and OpenAI so that they can build a surveillance infrastructure.
Yeah, we were talking about that actually last night on the show.
Because like he slashed AI regulations, he slashed restrictions on private businesses. He gave Oracle and OpenAI $500 billion, and like both of the people like at the heads of these organizations want surveillance, and like NSA's Paul Nakasone is in like on the board of Sam Altman's OpenAI. But nothing to see here. They're not like, rigging a fascist AI surveillance superstate or anything.
We will defeat Sam Altman and use AI for its purpose. Same thing with crypto.
I think you'll use it to make descriptions for YouTube videos.
That too.
All right. So Jim Bob says negative 500 to Kareem for implying there's a right kind of communism. And Jim Bob gives 50 to Casey for every time he said taxation is theft. And all right.
That's like 600 points.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And okay, so all right. The last one here. Who are we going to here? Is it who went last? I think it was Kareem was last. So Jeremiah, the best stimulus package would be
Ending
what?
the Fed.
That's
Okay. Ryan, to you.
Ending income tax.
Yes.
that was it.
Casey, to you.
What? Oh no. Government shutdown.
Kareem, to you.
I know this meme, but it says either, well, it would be, it'd be no income tax.
There's got to be something else.
Abolishing the government.
Yep.
I'll take
All
it.
right. So nobody got points for that.
They
Let's
went right
jump
for the Russian
to
wall on
the
that.
scoreboard.
You see
If you want to continue to punish Jeremiah and Kareem, which seems to be the majority of what's going on at this point, feel free to do so now. And let's see, add the scoreboard here. And we have Casey with a positive score, 1,200. Ryan's in positive territory, which is kind of shocking with 150. Cream negative 725. A lot of that was for the not combing your hair and being late, I believe.
Do I have to zoom in more so you know the difference between a 7 and a 1?
I said 725, didn't I?
You first were going to say a 1, and then you corrected it to a 7.
My ADHD makes me do numbers in screwed up sequences sometimes because I go really fast. And
Shut up, Zach.
Jeremiah, negative 2,385. And I checked that 4 times while I was reading it, so Casey didn't give me more crap. And Zach's helping me out here, negative 1,200 to Casey. So we're back to 0 there. So that means Ryan is in the lead. And we are running out of time here. So I'm just going to jump to the finals here. So I don't have the fancy $800 sound machine that Casey and Cash have. So I'm just going to say, let's see here.
Sudden death? Is that what you're saying?
I switched on the wrong screen. There's a
Is
lot
that like
going
Mortal
on here.
Kombat? Finish him.
Sudden death. So that's my little
Well,
my little sound effect there.
If you want that, you've got to get like really close to the mic and like open up your throat. It's got to be like sudden death.
I don't ever want to hear
better.
Jeremiah talk about opening his throat ever again.
Yeah, right. You got to open that throat.
All right.
Negative 150 to Ryan to get him back to 0. So now we're all in negative or
Jesus.
0 territory. Okay, so I'm just gonna let everybody answer it, and I'm gonna let you guys vote against each other here. So you can vote the 2 worst answers after this round, and we will tally them and then vote off. We'll vote off one person, I think, unless the answers are really terrible, and then we'll vote off more than one. So the first sudden death question here is, and we'll take the chat's responses too into account as well. So Ryan, to you, how do we reduce inflation?
And the Fed. That's it. Get rid of the Fed. They cause inflation. Get rid of it.
All right. Casey, to you.
Do you repeat the question?
It
Oh,
is how do we reduce inflation?
Yeah, and you end the Fed and fire 75% of our government that does not need to be employed, because that is how they're keeping your unofficial job employment numbers high.
Kareem, to you, how do we reduce inflation?
To break that down, nationwide and the Fed, and also issue our own currencies statewide and locally while investing in cryptocurrency and other assets.
Jeremiah, to you, how do we reduce inflation?
End the entire state, smash the state, and replace it with free societies that have like however stable a currency they want to have. It's up to them and not the government, and that's the way it should be.
All right, so let's just to synchronize this a little bit. Just give me who you think had the best answer, and in the chat do the same. Ryan, who do you think had the best answer there?
I think I had the best answer, but since I can't probably vote for myself, I'm going to say Casey because it was my answer, plus apparently cutting 150,000 jobs.
Big facts. They don't need to be jobs.
Casey, best answer.
I'm going to go with Jeremiah's answer.
Kareem, best answer.
Casey.
Jeremiah, best answer.
Well, since everybody is going with somebody else, I'll probably just redistribute to Ryan.
All right, so so somebody's getting voted off here, so I'm going to leave it to oh wait, did Kareem get any votes?
No.
No, Kareem didn't get any votes. So Kareem, you will wait backstage for the end of the show here, and these three will play for the finals here. So we'll bring you out at the end, so I'll give you a vote on who did the best in the final round, though. So here we go. The last question here is...
Oh, it's final three, huh?
I'm doing final three.
Okay.
What is the key to communities having autonomy and governance? I'm going to go in reverse order here this time. Jeremiah, to you. What is the key to communities having autonomy and governance?
You got to start on a cultural level. If you don't start on a cultural level, the politics that are downstream from that and the culture that is downstream from those cyclically will create a state every single time. If you don't start with culture and making sure that people respect the rights of every person, regardless of race, gender, sex, creed, financial status, then every place will eventually lose its autonomy by way of crippling like centralization and statism.
All right, Casey, to you. What is the key to communities having autonomy and governance?
I was going to say the same thing, but much more simpler, just locally. Form communities, join with your neighbors, and trade with each other.
All right, Ryan, to you. What is the key to communities having autonomy and governance?
I love that Casey answered communities with community. So that speaks volumes.
Words are hard.
What we really need is local activism in the current governance. The more people in their communities get involved in school boards, get involved in city council, get involved with county commissioners, the more that they get involved in city boards and impact decision-making behind the scenes, the more that we can steer that local governance into governance that is truly transparent, truly accountable, and truly listens to those in the community.
All right. And I'm going to bring Kareem out here, and I'm going to bring out Terry to give their opinions on who had the best answer there. Scientific gave you 100 points, Jeremiah, for having the most depressing answer.
As usual.
Zach said DAOs, blockchain, and smart contracts. And I think that's it for those comments there.
Do we
Cream,
really,
you there? If you're there, turn your camera back on. Terry, I'm going to bring you on the stage here. Who'd you think had the best answer, Terry?
Ryan, you have to start with where you're at to get to where you're going.
All right, Ryan. Oh, that was an old one. Cream, are you there? Your camera's off. Cream went to go water his hair, I believe. And all right, so let's see. Oh, he's back.
Hey,
Cream, who do you think had the best answer there?
Ryan.
All right.
Terry.
So sounds like it's a sweep for Ryan there. And Jim Bob says, "Good night, gentlemen." I use that term very loosely. Yep. And so on our way out here, let's go one by one. If there's anything you want to plug, you want to give your handle out, any social you want to give out, anything like that. Casey, we'll start with you.
Yeah, the main thing, I'll just always say what I always do. Don't trust the government. If you want to follow me, handle is right here, American versus Gov, and you'll catch in all of the fun that I spread on the internet.
Should we mention Monday?
We doing it this Monday?
Are we doing it this Monday?
I'm down if you are.
All right. So what are we doing Monday?
So Monday, Free and I are starting our new show. We will be tearing apart everything that Doge is doing. And are they actually going to shrink the size of government and decrease how much we're spending?
Looking forward to it. All right, Ryan, to you. What are you up to, Ryan?
Well, Free, thanks again for having me on. It's always a pleasure with you, Terry, Casey, Kareem and Jeremiah. I just met them for the first time tonight, but it's been a blast. Look, out here in the West Texas town of El Paso, the liberty movement is spreading. We're still controlled by oligarchs and authoritarian Democrats, but the tide is turning. And so stay tuned for some more news, some more efforts, and really just some more grassroots efforts at bringing liberty back to El Paso County.
Is that a teaser? Are you teasing us?
Is that like a trailer for the next Yellowstone season? Maybe. We'll find out.
Interesting. All right, Jeremiah, to you. What would you like to plug? Seems
I'm
like you got a lot going on your pin board there. Anything you want to mention?
I'm Insanity is free basically everywhere. I also do Twitch by the same name where you can just watch me play video games. Only talk occasionally about politics. That might change at some point in the future, but right now it's just sort of a casual fun channel for bullshit. I also do Jeremiah Talks on YouTube. I made a website recently for a new project with which I'm involved, which is lp-alliance.com. I do web graphics and other things. And you can find me fucking up people's day and giving depressing answers. Should you decide to follow that, you can constantly have a worse day every day.
And I'm going to Ryan really quick. You lost 500 more points because Woodcraft hasn't crafted any wood. So
look, I don't know why we're taking point totals from the guy that sits in his bed in his underwear and eats cold peas out of a can. I have no time for that.
He wasn't in underwear. I believe he was in Santa's elf lingerie, I believe is what it really was.
That was pineapple he was eating. He's in his underwear tonight, so I've heard.
Kareem, to you, anything you'd like to plug?
All right. You can find me and Jeremiah's website at Anarch Unity. I'll also plug my, I guess you could call it mentor, thought leader, Keith Preston at Attack the System. And you can find me on X at Kareem6633.
Excellent, Kareem. Thanks for joining us. Terry, anything you want to talk about before we go out here?
Just say thank you, guys. I had a great time. My friends in the comments, I love you.
There you
Did
go.
great, Terry. And Zach says Terry wins as always. So good way for us to go out here. Thanks for doing this. This was fun. I had a fun time putting the questions together because I knew this was going to be a smart group. And so I really had a good time knowing that I was giving you challenging questions, and you guys really lived up to my challenges. So it was a lot of fun. And you guys are guys, all three or all four of you guys are guys that I respect, and I enjoy following. So I recommend everybody follows you guys and keeps up with what you've been up to and where you're going and all the exciting stuff you're doing. So yeah, please follow all of these folks. We'll probably throw some more comments in the replay of the episode to make sure everybody has everybody's handles and all of that. And yeah, so thanks for doing this. Scientific agrees, Terry wins. And yeah, so I'm going to play us out here. And this has been You Aren't a Real Libertarian. Hope it lived up to its name. And have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for making the chat fun. Really appreciate it. And see you next time.